Hey everybody, welcome back to a max velocity weather forecast, and today what we're going over is that severe weather potential later this afternoon into the evening hours across the Dakotas and as well as into Minnesota and potentially even the Central Plains. I'll give you the latest breakdown on timing, threats to expect, and everything that you need to know is in this forecast, and let's get right into it. So as of right now, there is an enhanced risk of severe weather across a large portion of South Dakota into southeastern North Dakota as well as into Minnesota. Now the main threats this afternoon will be damaging winds, some large hail, and also the potential for a couple of tornadoes. Here's a look at the large hail, or the damaging wind outlook for this afternoon. You can see that the main area as of right now is basically anywhere from, again, really where that enhanced risk is. So South Dakota into portions of western and central Minnesota. Now, the main threat today, again, will be damaging winds, potentially up to 80 miles per hour, and also the potential for some hail up to the size of maybe even tennis balls, baseballs. Can't even rule out some hail slightly larger than that. You can see that red shaded area as well as the hatched area representing your potential for the greatest threat of hen egg sized hail or greater. Again, that's 2 inches in diameter or greater sized hail across a large portion. Again, that actually goes into far northern Nebraska, so it's a pretty large threat for today. There's also a low end tornado threat, especially in those areas that are really in far northern South Dakota, into southeastern North Dakota as well as far western Minnesota. That seems like our best chance for maybe a tornado or two. Can't rule out maybe another tornado or two outside of that region where the green shaded area is. Here's a look at the timing for this afternoon. We'll start to see some showers and storms fire up as early as 3 to 4 o'clock this afternoon out in western portions of South Dakota near areas like Rapid City. Eventually by 5 to 6 o'clock you can start to see more storms starting to develop, and again, these will be the most dangerous ones. You can kind of see down there in far northern Nebraska. These will be the ones that have the best potential, not for just some hail and damaging winds, but also a low-end tornado threat. Eventually by 7 to 8 o'clock those storms move off to the north, and you can still see maybe a couple of storms down there in far southern South Dakota. Some of them, or for the majority of them, will be moving into North Dakota by 8 to 9 o'clock. Eventually by 10 to 11 o'clock, most of the storms move off to the north and east, eventually into Minnesota. Here's a look at the timing for North Dakota. You can see some storms move off to the north. Again, the main area of storms will likely be closer to areas like Jamestown and maybe near West Fargo. Eventually by 9 to 10 o'clock, those storms again moving off all to the northeast. A lot of rain out of this as well, so a lot of beneficial rain for those who need it. Eventually going into the overnight hours, everything clears out. Here's a look at Minnesota's timing. So again, another potential for some showers and storms to develop right around 6 o'clock or so in central time. Eventually by 7 8 o'clock, we'll start to see some more widespread showers and storms across northern Minnesota. So our peak tornado threat for this area specifically seems to be probably between the hours of about 5 to 7 o'clock or so central time. By about 10 to 11 o'clock, a bit more of a pronounced area of storms across northern central Minnesota, and eventually those storms move off to the east, posing maybe some gusty winds or even maybe up to damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour as it heads toward far northern Wisconsin. So definitely maybe an area to watch, but other than that, very marginal threat as that area of storms move off to the east. Here's a look at the threat tomorrow, by the way. It's not really much to be talking about, honestly, but there is a marginal threat for severe weather. It's going to be mainly for some damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, maybe a little bit of maybe quarter-sized hail. Nothing too crazy. Here's a look at the timing. So a few showers and storms may develop across central Kansas going to about 5 to 7 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Again, very beneficial rain overall. The overall severity of this, though, seems to be very minimal, so luckily we're not looking at too much in terms of severe weather. All of that should be done with before midnight, so we're not really looking at an elongated threat. It should be only a few hours and it should be all done. So very similar to what we typically see in the summertime in terms of a severe weather event there. All right, make sure to stay updated again with Max Velocity here on our YouTube page. Subscribe and make sure to like the video for the latest. This forecast is brought to you by Platinum Contracting, All Dents Repair, and Patriot Safe Rooms. And I forgot to mention, I probably will go live tonight, so stay tuned for that.